that they are widely known across the world. It's pretty much going to be that same Titan matchup right now for that spot to vie in the Season 2 championship.
Yeah, and we're going to see a clash of strategies overall. If you look back to IEM Hanover, Counterlogic Gaming versus Moscow 5, you had something a bit similar where Moscow 5 was dominant. I don't think they lost a single game the entire way through, but the closest they came was Counterlogic Gaming going for that early pressure with Caitlyn. A lot of people thought it might have been a mistake as they waited a little bit too long to close the game out, and the late game scaling finally kicked in. CLG's now in that case. They're the late game situation. They need to withstand this pressure. We'll see if they can do it. We are now into game 2. We'll see if CLG can survive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, making their way out of the base. Looks like it's going to be standard here as they start to split off into their lanes. Be sure to cheer for the turrets. Be sure to cheer for the dragons. These guys need all your support on both Dignitas and CLG. They do have those soundproof headphones on, but they want to hear their fans, the backing. Right now, CLG on their heels after that loss, but not out of this. We saw that Legion changed up their strat to stop the innovation of CLG, but with CLG not making any mistakes still, we're able to take it into 50 minutes, and that's what they want. They want that late game. It's one of their keys to victory. I don't think we're going to see the innovation strat here, but they do have that Janna. Last time they ran it with Sona. That movement speed around the map is really what helps them utilize moving champions from lane to lane and not losing as much experience. We see the early wards going out, not too much aggression. This now is that do or die matchup to be put into the 3rd, 4th place or to be moved on to the Season 2 championship.
Yeah, and we saw CLG in the situation yesterday, that game 3 against Legion, and they said, guys, this is scary. We need to make sure this happens. And they grabbed a lot of the same champions you see here. They had the Orianna in the mid lane. They had Hotshot jungling on Cho'Gath. Those both worked phenomenally for them. And we'll see if they can pull it out in another do-or-die situation. Though this time, you know, they're in game 2. They still need to pull out a game 3 for themselves as well. They're looking for late game as that chance, and they've actually pulled out a couple of those tricks from the earlier series. They do have Summoner Teleport and Big Fat LP. That Orianna is going to be very, very mobile. Now, whether he uses that teleport to gank lanes constantly or uses that teleport to split push and escape, we still have the promote on Chouster. They're looking for a lot of pressure in this mid game to try to split up Dignitas and fight weird, strange situations. We'll see if they can do it.
You know, Freak, I want to take a look at this top lane. Crumbs obviously running a lot of magic resistance. What is that matchup for a Nidalee versus Rumble?
Well, it's going to be interesting because they both spike really hard during mid-game. Their early game is going to be better for Nidalee overall. That, you know, a 1-3, 1-4 Rumble, it's very hard to fight as that champion. You just don't do enough damage in a trade. You can constantly get poked out. He's got a shield so he can withstand some pressure, but Crumbs has a heal, and he's got a, a long-range basic attack. You look at his opening setup, and he's only got 51 attack damage. Let me pull up. He's got magic penetration on his build. So, and you know, no armor pen, nothing like that. This is an ability power Nidalee. He's going for a poke strategy. Dignitas are going for a poke strategy here.
Yeah, very poke. Once I saw that Caitlyn come out, the Piltover Peacemaker, very long range. Caitlyn herself, very long range and able to just utilize attack speed here, which kind of decides why they didn't take the Nunu there, getting more headshots, a huge burst of damage, especially late game for Caitlyn. But those spears from Crumbs are going to be huge. You can see he went Bushwhack first, setting himself up, just throwing them all around. He wants to be able to hit those, taking out a little bit of your armor as well when you get bushwhacked, when you run over those traps. We see Alistar coming into middle here, dominate, really just showing presence in mid lane. Doesn't look like he wanted to do much there. He's just rolling through the lane, making Big Fat know that he is there. A little bit of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're going to see some pressure at this bottom lane as well. Cutie Pie really trying to get some damage on the double lift. That Caitlyn versus Kog'Maw matchup, again, Kog'Maw is so phenomenal late game, but up until that point, it should be in Caitlyn's favor. Cutie Pie and Patoy need to keep the pressure on here. They're going to try to zone them out. You can see them just playing so aggressively in that brush, trying to keep double lift from last hitting any minions here. And if that's going to be the case, they'll have such a great mid-game. Kog'Maw, if he gets denied farm for a while, is not going to be very threatening for the first 25 minutes of this match.
I like what Hotshot is doing here. He saw Nidalee move to put down the Bushwhack because of the minion vision in lane, but now he's kind of wasting his time. Crumbs waiting as well, possibly setting up a counter gank here, but Alistar down in the bottom, taking his red now. Dominate will not be able to get there in time. And with that happening, Hotshot says, you know, I didn't get countered. I think I have enough time to counter their jungle.
Yeah, and actually Chouster running out of mana right now. This is actually a scary situation here I don't think Cho'Gath should have been pressing Q whatsoever because he's constantly getting poked here. Doublelift is just chugging through these health potions right now. He's actually down to 2 right now. His first one, about halfway timed out. He can get himself back up to full health once more, but that's about it. Doublelift is taking a lot of pain right here. Cho'Gath needs to be the one to sustain this Kog'Maw, to make that lane survive. If they can make that lane survive, again, their late game is so very good, but there's constant pressure here from that Dignitas bottom lane. They need to keep Doublelift in this game and let him feel safe so he can reach late game.
That was a really great choice, and as you said, it's a complete poke composition. Kog'Maw's W, that Bio-Arcane Barrage, is on a 17-second cooldown. It lasts 8 seconds, so it's really 9 seconds for him, but that whole time that he does not, that 8 seconds he doesn't have range, you'll see QtPie in his face, shot after shot, and QtPie is doing a very nice job of in and out of the bush, proccing that headshot of the passive a lot more.
Yeah, and just constantly just trying to deal damage. And it's great mechanics there by QtPie as well. When you attack from brush, right, you get that headshot up sooner. And actually some pressure in this mid lane right here. Big Fat taking a lot of stuns. He's going to flash to the side. Distance is going to give him some move speed and slow down his opposition. Can Dignitas make this one happen? There's no escape.
Crumb's top goes down for first blood on the chase. 2 lanes could be going down right now. And the body slam. A 1-for-1. And the chase top was happening at the same time. There was really no way to catch both. Be able to see that in just a few as they return to lanes respectively.
Yeah, you've seen this bottom lane once again. Take a quick look at the minion kills here. 31 on one side, 39 on the other for Dignitas. So Dignitas are building themselves about a 20% lead.
And we're going to see a replay of that top kill as it was the first blood on your screen here. We're going to be chasing down. We saw Hotshot come out of the river and Crumbs didn't even move from the bush the whole time. Under the turret, feeling confident, Crumbs actually kind of tunnel visioned in there. Hotshot was well within the lane before he tried to leave the bush.
Yeah, and Hotshot made another nice move there as well, just to make sure nothing fishy happened. He stayed under turret range. He made sure he kept tanking those turret shots. It allowed Voiboy to sit in lane if he wanted to. It allowed him to stay at full health in case a counter gank showed up. Hotshot just kind of playing the support role, saying, I'll take the hits, I'll take the hits. You get the kill, I'll make sure you get the kill, and nothing fishy happens. But really, Hotshot doing a nice move there just to tank the damage and make sure that fight happened successfully and the kill went down.
Nidalee kind of laying down a bushwhack trap up the river since she does not have any more wards, and a vision ward placed down as well. Voiboy cleaning those up, and you can see how much the spear does. It takes about 350 health off of Voiboy, so he's got to be very careful that he has a scrap shield up for that. A lot of pings were going down. With Dominate taking down his golems on the bottom, have not seen too much pressure from him coming out of the jungle except for that mid onto Orianna just now. We'll have to see if Big Fat is ready for that again. You can see him playing a little bit more cautious. He's not even cresting that channel into the river area of mid.
Yeah, and both junglers you can see right now going for similar builds, opening with Boots of Mobility, which tells me they want to put out a lot of pressure. Those Boots of Mobility granting you a lot of movement speed whenever you're not fighting, which really means whenever you're running between lanes and between jungle camps. They're going to use this to really plow ahead, find a gank, get behind someone, chase someone down, and land some initiation moves. If they can make those ganks happen, they're going to pay off the investment made on those boots. If it doesn't happen, they would have been better off buying some gold generation. We're going to see Skarner try to take down this camp. We're going to see Hotshot take down his own Lizard. And now we're going to see what's going to happen in this mid lane, because Scar is going to have pretty much infinite mana thanks to that buff. Can he push Big Fat out of lane? Can he just shove the lanes and roam? We're going to see what he does with this.
Looks like he is going to push this lane quite hard. Big Fat not having his, and it is up, but Cho'Gath, that Hotshot GG, kind of focusing on his raids. Will he come down to deliver? And yes, it looks like they will be donating that over to Big Fat quite soon. The gold right now as we reach 8 minutes. 9,500 apiece, just about 1-to-1 in kills. No turret focus this match, no lane swap, nothing unorthodox right now. These teams are pretty much going for regular gameplay, and that's what's going to bring Dignitas into a game 2. They were able to shut down CLG at their own game of just holding it out until late. That was a 40-minute game we just saw, and that's really the staple of CLG. Dignitas did their homework, and they're really holding the beginning of this match now. If they can continue to carry this, they're going to get that definitive early game in their favor.
Yeah, but right now CLG are doing a good job of not faltering. You can see the gold total actually in CLG's favor. Dominic going for a lane sneak there. He's so close. Will he get this on the double? It's going to walk up. There's the pulverize. Going to headbutt him backwards. No, the flash is there. Dominic does not headbutt in time. He just should have clicked headbutt. I don't quite get it.
I think he just tried to wait that last half second, trying to stack his movements just perfectly. If you headbutt somebody, they're still kind of shook for a second. You don't get the instant chance to move. So he was trying to time that by the split second it was happening, and just enough time for Doublelift to flash as he was slamming that key down. And you can see the damage trade in mid, back and forth, both now with blue buff, as we did see that traded over to Orianna in middle. Looks like Skarner going to be doing some movement here, but he is seen by a ward. They're going to go on the backside of this, and we see the movement off the tower. This will let him know that they realize they're coming, but they don't have any minions up at the tower. They see that they're gone, and he will be more than happy to push in here. Looks like the first tower going down about 10 minutes. As I just said, no focus was to them. Dignitas gains a little bit of map control.
Yeah, and with how much they actually pushed out CLG, they could go for some pressure at this dragon. He's pulled it out. We'll see. No, CLG, that bottom lane is going to sit there farming out this minion wave. The mid lane was pushed down, but Crumbs came down to kind of stop that minion aggression. Then he's there if more mid lane if that mid lane comes down to the dragon. But no, Dignitas with the first turret of the match and now the first dragon of the match as well. A great opening here on Dignitas. They gave up first blood, but they're making the right map movements.
Exactly 1,000 gold ahead now because of that dragon at the 10-minute mark, so it's going to be an exactly 16-minute dragon. The Blues have a little bit more time on them, about 2 minutes to come back up for those guys. So right now the mid's doing what they can. We see Skarner going back now, somewhat looking at the builds. Really nobody going to be able to recipe into something, but again, we saw this yesterday happen as well. The junglers going both for boots of mobility.
Yeah, and we'll see if those ganks do in fact happen. Dominate went for a nice attempt there on that bottom lane. He did knock up double up into the air. You know, he has flash and ghost, so he couldn't cleanse out of that in any way. He had the easy setup for that knockback. Again, just strange he didn't headbutt him back into the lane, but ultimately still burned the flash, and it allowed them that later gank where they picked down the turret and then got a dragon out of it. So I can't hate too much. Dignitas making, as a team, a lot of great choices, and they've donated that lizard buff to Cutie Pie as well. So that Caitlyn, her basic attacks are going to land the debuff that slows and deals a bit of extra damage over time whenever she attacks someone. And so she's going to like the extra pressure there. Already has a really good long-range basic attack, so that she can really easily reapply that debuff.
You know what, Freak? That's a great choice, especially now this early in the game. That long range of hers just stays there. That's the range that she has. Knowing that Caitlyn has that pilled over Peacemaker as well as the long range attack, it's not going to be giving to somebody on the team that's melee, that's going to be in the fight, which is sometimes what you do towards the later part of the game. Give it to Aurelia, give it to a Deer, because they're going to be in there constantly hitting people to slow them down and keep them in the fight. So this is going to be even bigger for that bottom lane. You see Hotshot trying to come in here, possibly creep up with these guys. He's going to wait off in the wing before the initiation.
Yeah, so let's see what these guys go for. Any fights brewing right now. Looks like everyone's right now content to sit in lane, which really plays to CLG's favor. Dignitas haven't turned up the heat anymore. You know, the Caitlyn pick to try to counteract that Kog'Maw. It's 87 versus 98 in minions. It's not a huge lead overall. They've not really zoned out to any significant margin. It's not enough that I would really call it a dominant lane. He certainly built the advantage, and much more so than in game one, where it actually went in Doublelift's favor. So the champion selection difference did make an impact here, but they've not shut him down by any means. They've not really denied any options to CLG. What Dignitas needs to do is really turn up the heat. They need to get more ganks, more turret pressure, because even though they're going for that ability power Nidalee, that poke late game, I don't know if it's going to be enough for them, because Counter Logic Gaming has a lot of initiation back on their side. So, you know, normally if you run sort of a poke composition, you're relying on long ranges and dealing damage from a distance, but they're fighting a Sona, and they're fighting champions who can dive in there and start a fight. That's a natural sort of counter to a poke composition.
Right on top of the ward, a body slam through the wall, an explosive amount of damage, and whoa, once again, the rupture ping pong from Casket. That was absolutely amazing. The rupture hit at the exact same time instead of throwing him over it. Great timing by Dignitas right there.
Yeah, a great gank overall. I think he might have, you know, he landed the explosive cast, and it's actually a really good idea by Skarner. He actually held on to his ultimate, right? He landed the slow from his body slam, he landed the barrel roll, and he was like, Hotshot, I dare you to flash. Okay, flash, knew that Hotshot could not dodge his abilities anymore, and then just got the easy lead with the explosive cast, comboed in with Alistar with a nice knockup there. They got the really, really good kill pick off. They're going to turn the aggression towards mid lane. That Caitlyn ult is going to keep poking down Chowster, and they're going to push for more and more turrets. Double gets some free push at the bottom, but Dignitas is going to keep pushing the mid. This looks a lot like that game we saw CLG Game 2 against Legion, where they said, let's go for turret kills, turret kills, turret kills, turret kills, turret kills, and Dignitas are now going for that, and I think that's the right play for them.
Freaking so much faster of a game. It's like these guys forgot what was on the line. Definitely not Dignitas, as they are going full aggression right now, but the turret for turret was very good. Doublelift focusing on keeping his team in this very mechanically, as well as in that gold range. They're still within that 1,000 gold mark. 14 minutes in. However, still that slow kill game. They're going for the objectives. They're trying to get those dragons down. We'll have to see what they can do for this next fight. The teams are going to start gathering now as they've kind of stopped the laning phase for themselves. It's quite early in the game still, but they forced it into the mid-game by what they're doing. And this is going to be very big. I believe Dignitas has scaled a little bit harder so far, and they're going to have the upper hand in these fights.
Yeah, I like what Dignitas did right here. I don't know if this was the overall intentional strategy, but they stole the third golem buff here from Counter Logic Gaming. The third one that came up, they grabbed it, and they gave that golem buff to Nidalee, played by Crumbs. They've got 3 minutes of pretty much infinite mana on a long-range poke champion. There's that note that Reginald said about playing Gragas with a golem buff. That cooldown is low. You can poke, poke, poke. Crumbs off on the left-hand side, constantly tossing out javelins, lands ones on Voyboy, puts him down to about 2/3 health. Voyboy has some early magic with this. It's going to be difficult. Unify, more aggression there. Shields going everywhere, but so much poke. Look at this composition. And if anyone jumps in, Alistar and Janna can both disengage. The poke just coming in from everywhere. Crumbs going even farther up, trying to find more javelins between the minions. Did you see that? Landing on a Voyboy's side, and they're still pushing in for this turret damage. Hot shot down to 2/3 health as well. Dignitas have really practiced this. They've really rehearsed this. Just 2 Doran Rings and Sorcerer Shoes is enough. They're doing a ton of mid-game damage.
This is such terror for CLG. On my screen, I'm really only seeing bits and pieces of Dignitas come onto the screen and then the attacks. The poke composition is almost in the fog of war right now for Dignitas' entire team.
There's the initiation. Patoy getting caught up there. Gonna flash away. Everyone from Dignitas has disengaged, except for Patoy, who caught a slow right there. He's gonna walk to the side, bait the damage, say, okay, yes, you're gonna kill me, it's okay. He draws everyone else away from him, though, so the rest of the team could just kind of run back and be safe. But now's the time for CLG to counter-aggress.
That was a very good job by Patoy, not running towards his team, just kind of directing everybody off to the distance. Everybody behind him was more than happy to get an assist on that, which really helped out Dignitas to get out with any more kills that would have gone to CLG. They even up the game there at 2-2. Looks like CLG will be able to grab this next dragon.
It's a very intelligent choice by CLG. They could have gone for a push that mid lane, but there was a lot of wave clearing available to Dignitas. They've got Gragas and they've got Caitlyn. Both of whom are excellent at destroying large waves of minions. So they said, nah, we need to take some kind of advantage. We know we're up 5-4, but that advantage is going to have to be a dragon, not a turret. CLG will have to return for a turret sometime later.
Counter Logic Gaming is going to have to continue making those plays. We saw that it was only Patoy that went out. It's very hard for Counter Logic to reinitiate on these fights with the amount of range that Dignitas is putting between their attacks, because you can't just jump on them after they use their cooldowns. They have enough range to still be in a safe position. They only caught Patoy on that one, so better positioning, a little better warding, and maybe really just a better entrance on their fight. The Orianna ult went off as soon as their tower went down, so the initiation was only at 50%.
Yeah, and you can see, though, still the pressure trying to be put in here by Dignitas. Dominic tried to go for a kill on that Lizard, tried to go for the steal overall. The Counter Logic Gaming did react to that. He got away in time. Hotshot's going to warp up the closer buff. It's going to go to double lift almost definitely. And that's going to be a big tool here for Counter Logic Gaming, is they've got 2 long-range champions on their side as well, with the Orianna and with the Kog'Maw. It's a bit harder for them to land poke. They don't quite have the same tool set there as the Dignitas lineup, but if they want to survive these long-range engagements, it's going to be from that. You saw earlier, Big Fat LP got the initiation with Command Shockwave and pulled in Patoy. Earlier, he was dealing a lot of damage to Gragas, and actually, the Ghost has been pulled by Devil. He's trying to jump in here onto I Will Dominate, but Dominate with Boots of Mobility just walks too fast. They will not catch up to that cow, and that's actually a summoner spell burned by an attack damage carry, which is a scary situation to be in.
You see the things going around. Good wards, aggressive wards coming out of Dignitas right now. They're trying to put them all over the map. They have one down by Wraiths. Actually, more wards from CLG. If you look at the top half of the map, Bushwhacks and wards all over. Equalizer goes down for Rumble as he's just trying to push off that wave, and he will be able to turn back as Dominate continues to put on this pressure.
Yeah, that cooldown is not too long either. That Voyboy Rumble ultimate, not too bad. But Dignitas really holding true to their strategy. Again, going for the pressure here, trying to pick up early kills on turrets. They've moved over to the top lane here. They know the dragon's gone, so being up at the top lane in unforced, at minute 3 is scary because you've given up control over the dragon. But dragon's a good 4.5 minutes away still, so they're happy to push the top half of the map. But CLG making good choices are trying to counteract that and go for the mid lane right here. Skara, I feel like he should just, ult everyone away right now, but it's a bit late. That turret's still going to fall down. Would have liked to see him burn that one a little bit earlier, but CLG really counteracting well. Crumbs trying to, survive a little bit. And if he were Bruiser Nidalee, he could 1v1 double if by being ability power Nidalee, he'll just sit there and push back on minions. Dignitas still able to push though. They've picked up their second turret at this top lane, and now they're going to retreat back into the jungle, pick up this little bit of gold from stealing monsters, and now let's see what they go for next. My guess, bottom lane.
Streaks him now. Oh wow, Crumb's doing a lot of damage, but finds double lift. The attacks go down, double lift with the artillery, but he just misses that last attack. See them coming into the jungle here, starting to force their way in. Dominate a little bit out. Gragas body slamming right into a rupture will stop him in his tracks. And they are kind of splitting each other here. Double lift gets seen. The ward is there. The barrel roll misses. Will he have enough damage though? His ult just coming back up in 5 seconds. He wants to stay within range. A Captain surprise to do the damage here. Skarner is going to be all right with his team though, and that was a great lockdown there. The red buff transferring over to Skarner.
Yeah, really good collapse there by that Dignitas lineup. Double lift was ready to just kite that the entire way through, but Dominate coming in from the side, boots mobility, allowing him to initiate, just block him up against the wall, made that kill happen on Kog'Maw, and here is Dignitas at this bottom lane. They do want their 6th turret kill right here. It's at 2/3 health, and about 2 mini waves, I think they're going to have enough damage to kill it off.
Still, the poke composition coming into play huge right now for Dignitas. Crumbs once again off on the left wing. His team pushing in with vision with those minions, just missing the CLG team as they hide behind their turret. Huge ulti coming in. Janna flashing out of that one. Patoy gets himself out safely. Dominate forced to throw down his ultimate.
Yeah, we're going to have everyone move back on out. That turret very, very low. We're trying to get the poke in. He's going to almost take the javelin there. The barrel's still cleaning out minion waves. And let's see what we can do with this. PewDiePie pushing down on these minions. Dignitas wanting to go for the turret. This is a good chance for them. The ultimates are down from Orianna. They're going to go in for this turret pressure. Down to only 600 health. That's going to be enough damage. They're going to just sit there and tank it. Skarner, yep, he's going to take a little bit of damage from that turret, but he's going to be safe. His passive will regenerate his health a bit. And now they're going to keep on the pressure. Now this is the point at Hanover where Counterlogic Gaming gave up the push and allowed Moscow 5 to come on back. We'll see if Dignitas has learned that lesson and can keep the pressure.
As they do push out, they have that fortified minion going out with Promote. We'll see what they can do as they push. They are going to try to get some bushwhacks down. No, nothing on the Baron right now. Nobody actually has vision of this. We see Chaucer going up there to ward, possibly from the backside, clearing with that top Oracle. A lot of things coming down from CLG themselves. They're saying we need to push our lane up. We have this minion promoted. Let's use this. Minion is going to be pushing ahead for them as they go up towards Baron now with that promoted minion in mid. Caitlyn kind of trying to attack that. Going to take her a little bit longer to take it out, but she knows they may be going for this Baron. No vision anywhere right now. The wards have not gone down, but it looks like they are trying to formulate something as Dignitas starts to move, checking the poke, but they're all deep inside Baron. They try to play the fog of war on this one. Baron's very low right now. It has 3,500 HP. Void forced out of this fight. Big Bat taking a lot of damage. Crescendo over from the side. Baron is just doing damage rather than being attacked. A very nice job by Crumbs, able to pick up a double kill for himself. A Cathian surprise taking down Patoy as they answer back with a 3-2. CLG stopping that one as Dignitas came in on a last-ditch effort to shut down any attempt on Baron.
Yeah, really good stop by Dignitas overall. They got 3 kills for 2. Voidboy had a really good job in that fight where he flashed back and then got his ultimate down to pick everything up. Let's see what happened exactly in that last fight. We've got a replay ready. And here we're going to see what happens. And Dignitas just jumps in there, immediate flash out by Voidboy. He's going to be able to land a great ultimate when his silence finally ends. Just so much pressure though, Hotshot getting caught out. A great ultimate combo. Baron just dealing so very much damage, but then it starts helping and actually kills off Kog'Maw there. A nice double kill there by Crumbs. Despite being ability power Nidalee and a bit squishy, was able to initiate in there and deal a lot of damage just by himself.
So now Crumbs in this position, now not being a bruiser Nidalee. You're not going to be able to push that lane by yourself as much. You haven't really worked on your heal. It's not going to give you the attack speed that you need. Do you still play that split composition?
I think at this point, oh wow, sorry, got distracted by a giant javelin to Chaucer's face. Dignitas are setting the pace. The CLG has to react to Dignitas every step of the way right now. Dignitas have a great split push lineup that actually has a lot of babysitting, and they've built enough of a gold advantage here, 5,000 gold up, that they can keep the pressure on. The difficulty, though, is that these turrets are a bit harder to hit. They're farther into CLG's territory. Baron is a bit of an option, but they don't have a lot of great Baron damage necessarily. So Dignitas You know, so they're going to set the pace here. What CLG will try to do is wave clear. Kog'Maw, Orianna, and a little bit of Cho'Gath and Rumble can wave clear pretty well, so they might be able to withstand there with just a couple of members. The problem is, there's not a great split pusher from Counter Logic Gaming. Their only summoner teleport is on Orianna, and Orianna cannot really stand to be left alone. It was a little bit of a surprising pick there because I don't think it really matches everything else on the lineup. Now they do have promote here on Chowster, so if they can promote one of those minion waves, they can have a giant minion shove on a random outside lane. They might force Dignitas to split up as a result of that, but I feel like, you know, Crumbs can recall, you know, take that down and then summon a teleport back in. Those cooldowns are pretty similar overall. Promote 153 seconds, teleport 300, but unless it's used every single cooldown, there's not going to be that huge of a disparity.
So Freak, as it becomes this fight of wards, you can see in the jungle, in the fog of war initiation, the ace in the hole coming out, the shield going off on Hotshot as he dodges and lets it hit Voyboy. And they're going to try to just poke back and forth at this blue. Who would you say has the advantage in the jungle, in the fog of war, milling about the bushes and just trying to get the outside attacks in?
I think ultimately Doublelift has the advantage in a situation like this. Kog'Maw, if he can just be safe. Also, jungle is just naturally amazing for Rumble. Rumble is really amazing in tight corridors and short hallways where you can't avoid the Equalizer, you can't avoid Flame Spitter, and don't even think about dodging Electro Harpoons. He's going to just bathe your entire team in fire. And Kog'Maw from the back, the Void is going to slow you down so you can't dodge the Equalizer as well. And he's just going to sit there dealing immense damage from long, long, long range. Look at what Doublelift's at right now. It's 176 million kills. He's second place on his team. He's got the Phantom Dancer. He's got a pretty good amount of damage. But Dignitas, they don't want to let him get even more farm, so they want to go for the push.
Let's just take a look at what's been done here by Dignitas. They have such a base still. 3 turrets all the way to that top lane. They still have their second tier, middle and bottom lane, and they have depleted every turret that CLG has outside their base right now. They can go around the horn and mess with any of those inhibitor turrets, especially Baron, I believe, has one, or still up to be taken. So with these minions pushing in, with that vision from the minions as well, once they push these lanes, that Baron is going to be so much in their favor, and they'll have so much more time to get there.
Yep, and Dignitas is going to keep on this poke game. You're seeing them use ultimates just for poke damage. PewDiePie used Ace in the hole not long ago, but he has Golem buff. That cooldown's not too big. You're going to see Skara do the same thing here on Gragas in the near future. Right now it's Barrels. A lot of damage there onto Orianna, dropping her to about 2/3. And they're just going to keep tossing out these javelins. Crumbs, enough mana regen thanks to Doran rings. Down to about half so far, but doing okay. There again, you're seeing CLG with the wave from their PewDiePie just going for the turret. You see he's never going for champions, he's only going for structured damage. He's going to lifesteal back up, has an Infinity Edge, close to Phantom Dancer. Honestly, he might even do more damage than Kog'Maw right now. No, never mind, with that BF Sword, Kog'Maw's definitely exceptionally threatening right here. If you add that on top of Bio Arcane Barrage. But Dignitas, they're playing everything correctly. They're poking from range. They're not taking much counterattack damage. And PewDiePie back into the turret. Walks out. Here comes Hotshot in the front. There's the shotgun coming out. Dominate's going to get ulted on. Who's going to do the damage? Scar's going to pick off 1 kill right away. PewDiePie's not getting focused, but neither is Doublelift. Who's going to do more damage here? Rupture lands. That's really painful. PewDiePie's still taking more damage. Well, it looks like they've disengaged. Dignitas have gotten 1 kill for 3. Silence goes out on Crumbs. PewDiePie staying aggressive. Will get ruptured in the air. Doesn't mind too much. Gets the turret kill. Dignitas still looking for the pressure.
PewDiePie playing that so smart. That's the second time he stood there and taken down a turret in front of his enemy, knowing he gets sustained off the minions, knowing they are not going to initiate due to the aggression they have right now. One more shot on Doublelift and a crit may have taken him out. That Infinity Edge piercing right through Kog'Maw. The inhibitor goes down, and Dignitas with a pretty substantial lead right now over Counter Logic Gaming. 41,000 to 32,000 gold, 7-4, 7 turrets to 2.
Wow, and I love how Dignitas went through this champion select. The second they got Alistar, I know the call was made to say, guys, let's do poke strat. The second they got Alistar, they said, okay, we've got that one. Okay, let's get Gragas as soon as possible. Let's get Janna, that last support we want for the disengage. I can't stress enough how hard it is for CLG to jump in against Janna Alistar. Both of them can knock champions back. Even Skarner can do it on Gragas as well. Their first 3 picks all had knockbacks, all had the ability to disengage and make those fights stop. The last 2 grabs by grabbing Caitlyn and Nidalee secured that situation for them, and they are just going to play from long range. There's an ultimate. Oh my gosh, the catch on Voyboy. Almost the javelin. That could have secured the kill for it. But they've still put CLG in a situation where the health bars are very low, Their cooldowns, they're all there, but still it's going to take a while for Voivod to get healthy again.
You know, Freak, as you said, possibly Orianna not the best pick there. I love the composition that CLG is trying to do. We just saw it with Hotshot GG gaining the ball from Orianna, gaining that shield, and then the ultimate. The ultimate would be onto Rupture, and then they would have Crescendo after that. However, I think they chose too particular of a strategy to shut down the team. You're not going to find that instance very often, especially with Dignitas seeing it for that first time. They are not going to gather together whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult for CLG overall. Their card to play is still make it to late game. Since the first second of Champion Select, that was always going to be what was on the table there was late game, late game, late game. And actually, ooh, almost catching her onto Crumbs. Nice flash into jump, but still caught out alone. No flash anymore. Gonna be too much damage. Nice job, CLG, making that kill happen. Caught Crumbs out way too far away. And now's the time for CLG to stage a comeback. They're great at Baron. They have this sort of weird ability to never take damage from it, and they're running in toward it. Hotshot GG right there. They swept wards, and Doublelift has started the aggression. Now, they might be trying to pull a fight. They are. Chowser takes some damage here from Cutie Pie. And you know what? They're going to say, you know what? We actually have to ping back on our base. We've got minions at our front door. CLG must defend their base when they wanted Baron. Wow, look at that.
Yep, exactly, and they are going to start Baron here. Cutie Pie puts a few shots on it, but they say, let's push this. Even seeing most of the entire team back. Skarner turns around, actually. Maybe they're going to turn on this one, and they do. They see most of the team backing off. It's a really back and forth. They're seeing them in the minion line, but they're not seeing everybody. They want to figure this out fully before trying that Baron, and they say, without the vision, we are going to back off. We don't have Nidalee. We're going to wait for this to get back. When Crumbs gets with us, they're really going to pressure. Looks like they're going to quickly take blue and possibly a dragon, as this one gets just CLG to farm up their lanes and push it back out.
Yep, and in order to stop CLG from farming it back out, they really need to keep the tempo high. Dignitas looking for that golem. They will almost get it on a Crumbs. One last attack, and there he goes. Going for a Lich Bane next. Just trying to get so much damage, just tweaking the damage out of that lineup. Bam! Damage on a hot shot, dropping him by about a fifth. And they are back to this bottom lane once more. 7 turret kills. They've got super minions pushing down that mid lane. Pretty soon it's going to start tanking their minion spawns from the Nexus. It's going to make the push all the easier. Big Fat taking more harass from that barrel. Thankfully for him, his magic resist is high enough, and that shield is high enough that he's able to block some of that damage. Hotshot once again blocking some of that out, just trying to withstand all this poke. Dignitas does not want to let up here. Cutie Pie, oh, he's going to get initiated on. So much pain going on. He's going to move away from the equalizer, and the nice disengage there. They push him back. Barrow going to push Big Fat away. No more damage going to come out there. 2 ultimates have been blown from that CLG lineup. The equalizer and the command shockwave are both gone here. Dignitas, none of the ultimates that really matter are gone. They've still got Patoy, they've still got I Will Dominate. They are still able to keep pushing here.
You know, the potential to pop somebody up on this team, that pulverize, Gragas' ultimate, Howling Gale from Janna. We haven't even seen Janna being used that much within this match. Monsoon hasn't even been used to save or disengage a fight. They're more than happy to use 2 or 3 of those abilities and keep Janna for that real utility when it's necessary for her to come in. So Dignitas, like I said before, really controlling what they want CLG to do right now. The javelins, the poke coming in. You can see Ace in the hole. They're just trying to quickly burst somebody down. And with those 3 abilities, they might be able to take out Sona. They might be able to take out Orianna or Kog'Maw instantly.
Yep, they got some help in that mid lane. Finally, those minions did show up with the super minion in there as well. They will pick that turret up. And Caitlyn with the Nidalee heal actually getting some attacks. He makes it pretty easy. Initiation goes off. Won't do too much, but they caught up with there with Doublelift. You have to run back. There's Crescendo. This is actually good positioning. They picked up the first kill as Patoy falls down. Was not even able to pop his ultimate. Inhibitor respawn for that mid lane. So CLG actually have a reasonable amount of structures right now, and they've got a 5-on-4.
And fantastic mechanics by Dignitas. I believe once or twice, Big Fat LP's ultimate has actually hit. They are flashing out instantly as they get hit by the dissonance and then the pull-in, and he's just not being able to hit it. That's a huge miss for Big Fat LP. Not that he's missing it, but for the team to not be able to have that crowd control, for them not to be able to engage on that is really hurting their chances to turn the tide of this match.
Yeah, and you're seeing now the individual power from members of Team Dignitas from actually soloing out this dragon. No one from CLG remotely close to stop him. Of course, they're just going to sit there and try to farm in the background. Now with the inhibitors all back up, this means there's no big minion surges. But for Dignitas' credit, they've got no turrets in front of 2 of those inhibitors. When Dignitas says, let's turn the pressure back on, they're going to have a very easy time of crushing the middle and bottom lanes. What Counterlogic Gaming needs to do is fight right at the choke point on the steps. Though they don't have a turret to defend themselves, they've got positioning in their advantage. They can land that shockwave, the equalizer, everything all at once, crescendo. They've got a composition that can make Rumble shine. When you fight in a small place like this, and Hotshot, totally out of position, gets caught out and collapsed on by Dignitas. Suddenly, it's a 5-on-4, and one of the keys that Dignitas is going to want for making a push happen is going to be Baron buff. Grant them a lot of sustain, and CLG must stop this here.
Very nice. Baron is at 75%. CLG just on the outside of this. They have to get around that fog of war. Big fat LP taking a 500 spear. And there's the ultimate from Orianna. They do not get out of that one. A very nice job. Double lift shutting down Skarner in this fight. That's a huge amount of damage, and you can just see what this does to Dignitas. They're forced to run away. This is exactly what CLG needs to pull back into this. Can they turn around and take the Baron, putting themselves slightly back in this matchup, and definitely with a chance to throw over on Dignitas on this one.
Dignitas needs a split push right now and go for inhibitor to stop Baron. They need to dive in there from the jungle, or you get some amazing poke. We'll see they're actually going to go to stop it with a fight instead. Javelin comes out, not going to hit. Double Lift doing so much damage to Baron. It's down to half right now. Dignitas wants to go. There's the Australians. They're going to initiate on. Where's the stun going to go? Who's going to take the damage? Double Lift has 1 hit to go. He's going to flash over the wall and be safe. And Dignitas is disengaged as well with Patoy, but Dominate's now alone. He will fall down. Double Lift still very, very low. Dominate dying. He can actually touch over the wall. Crumb's going to go for the Javelin. Not quite going to land it just yet. Where's he going to come in from? They need to try to stop this Baron. This Baron's going to be a very, very big deal for Counterlogic Gaming. Crumb's going to have 1 chance for it. Javelin comes out, will hit Boy, will not jump over the wall. That's going to be there for CLG. And they pick up the kill point as well. Dignitas not able to make anything happen. CLG in the kill lead, 5,000 gold down, but they're wearing Baron buff.
That was so huge, and that does not exactly put the pause button on Dignitas, but they are going to have a hard time now. CLG started that fight without Hotshot GG. He is their tankiest one right now. Rumble not really able to take that Baron damage, and they were all quite low health. So for them to really dance that out until they could take it, until Hotshot came back, and to have Big Fat be able to run around losing that damage on Baron, they controlled that so well. And CLG may have just turned it on mentally, and this may be very bad for Dignitas.
Yeah, that was absolutely the best chain of events that could have happened for Counterlogic Gaming. They fought a team fight in the open where poke was not going to really matter very much. Double Lift had free reign to deal damage. You saw how fast Skarner got dropped, and without a burst damage source, you can't shut down an attack damage carry anymore. You just saw Double Lift start going to work on that fight. Almost got dropped down, had to burn that flash to escape over the Baron pit, but because no one else was there to follow up with Idle Dominate's aggression, it just didn't matter. He was able to lifesteal back over the wall, and the rest of Counterlogic Gaming still tanky because of how that fight went, just able to clean up the rest of that situation. And now we're going to see what Dignitas can do. You know, it's interesting because normally they're the aggressors, but Counterlogic Gaming right here wants to pull turrets back to equal if they can. They've got the Baron buff, they've got a better team fight overall, and the longer this game goes, the more scary Double Lift is going to get on Kog'Maw.
Have to see what they can do. They are pressuring every lane they want now. Still not going with the split composition to CLG. They're going to go for power and numbers on this one. See Kog'Maw taking a bit of damage there, but he's going to be able to sustain himself. He does have that Vampiric Scepter. Every auto attack is going to give him a percentage of life back. Both of the AD carries well off in that position. And this is really where Caitlyn may start to fall off. She does scale into late game, but Kog'Maw is going to be able to quickly shred through the team of Dignitas if left on the outside. We saw him flash out of Baron Den after getting nailed by a Crumb's Javelin. There it is on a cutie pot. Will Void decide to go in on this one? No, he does not. And it looks like they may comfortably push this turret. Hotshot coming back around. They're really just trying to waste the cooldowns here and find an in on this fight. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes somebody makes a quick mistake. Right now, Dignitas and CLG are on the top of their game, and that mistake is not going to happen for either team. It's really going to have to be the perfect initiation.
Yeah, and Technology Gaming have been very good at those initiations. They've very nearly caught out PewDiePie a number of times here. You're seeing Doublelift and PewDiePie with identical items on themselves, and the only reason Doublelift is not dealing 7 times as much damage is that Primal Surge from Nidalee, granting attack speed to PewDiePie whenever he heals him. That's going to be just enough to keep Caitlyn very, very relevant here. Additionally, you're seeing Hotshot going for health and magic resistance, but not armor so much. And so PewDiePie's items are actually not getting mitigated whatsoever. He's actually still an exceptional damage threat right now.
Yeah, we can actually see coming into this turret, it looks like they are going to be able to tank it. Chowster being pushed out to the right. Good shield onto Hotshot GG. And Chowster actually building quite tanky, a 2200 HP Sona on support. So she also wants to get himself, or he wants to get himself into the fight rather, with that Oracles, with that Baron. The health regeneration coming back to the team, Freak. This Baron buff is really keeping them sustained. However, they only have 30 seconds left, and they haven't done too much damage with it.
Yeah, well, Skara had burned through his ultimate trying to poke everyone down, got Hotshot a bit low, but between Baron buff and Sona, CLG kept themselves pretty well sustained. Janna once again shielding that turret, went for a Soul Shroud because of the nature of their composition. They're going to sit there in the back and spam abilities for a long time, so granting mana regen and cooldown reduction is the right aura of choice here for that Dignitas lineup. And this is kind of into their wheelhouse. This is a long-range poke engagement where Dignitas, despite fighting against a Baron buff, we're having a good time with this one. CLG now without Baron buff, this fight might not be nearly as good for them. Chowster has still not run out of mana by going an early Chalice, allowed him to constantly sustain his team. Doublelift going for the pressure. There is ultimate on both sides, but Toy getting very, very low. Left a flash away from the equalizer. Boy jumping in. PewDiePie's not liking this one. Shirellia's popped, and they've been forced all the way out. Dignitas are going to be pushed back to heal. CLG got complete control over that turret. A very nice engagement, catching 2 champions in that Shockwave ultimate and following up with that equalizer from Rumble.
40 minutes into this match, CLG playing their late game strategy. And to point out the Caitlyn pick to the Kog'Maw pick, we did just see the BF sword picked up on Caitlyn, but for quite some time, they were at that 2-item go. The IE Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer. But at this level of the game, that is going to be so much stronger on Doublelift, and you can see how late game factor into the CLG composition.
Yeah, they have finally reached that point. Doublelift is actually crazy rich right now. They're actually gonna, looks like he's going for, oh, if he one-shot at a Banshee's Veil. Wanted to make sure he was not going to drop down in these fights. He's at almost 13,000 gold individually. Looks to be the richest member of the game, that Doublelift Kog'Maw, and he's going to be so hard to kill now because he's got that spell shield, the Banshee's Veil, going to make it so hard to break in on him. That blue bubble is going to block one hostile spell, and it's going to be very likely the hostile spell will be the explosive cast from Gragas. Good luck doing something useful when you can explosive cast the attack damage carry.
Yeah, Freak, that Baron for CLG was huge. You could see it kept Dignitas on their heels, but now they have a very mobile Gragas. They have 2 naked inhibitors to take down for CLG, and they also have Nidalee to go wherever she wants and continue to poke over the wall. Dignitas, with waiting out that Baron, now has a huge advantage back on being able to take any inhibitor they want, and CLG's really going to have to turtle this one out.
Crumbs actually, interestingly, sold his Sheen to grab a faster Void Staff. Realized the other team was actually spamming up some magic resist. He needed to switch his build and keep his javelins relevant, but now he's going back for that Sheen sometime later. Has the Amplifying Tome and the Sapphire Crystal. That's very likely to turn into that Lichbane a bit later. But kind of interesting to see these players go for these mid-game build choices and kind of go back to what they were doing a second ago. You see PewDiePie actually stopping his build a little bit as well, building his own magic resist, realizing how dangerous that Rumble Orianna combo was for him. A flash initiate coming in though from Dominate. He's going to put up Big Fat kind of alone right there, but Shirellia's going to make that a disengage. Oh my gosh, so much damage. Big Fat getting chunked right now. That's going to be a kill for PewDiePie. Can they disengage? Dominate's ultimate is down. Boy taking a lot of pain. He will get dropped. Did PewDiePie do enough damage? 1 hit to go. Can he land it? The ult goes down. Yes, he will. But here is Doublelift. He's going to pick up the toy. Now it's going to be a battle of Doublelift versus PewDiePie. Crumb's very, very low. 1 hit from Dead. Will land some damage on a Scar. Land some more on the Crumb. 1 hit to go. He picks it up. Nice job, Doublelift. It's a 3-for-2 trade right now. CLG coming out ahead of that one.
That was a very scary fight. PewDiePie dodged crescendo. A Caliber Nat right out of it and continued to attack. Was able to take down Orianna even through the ultimate. The shot was flying through the air. But Doublelift staying alive, like I said, scales so much harder than Caitlyn. He bought the pickaxe, the Banshee's Veil. Caitlyn went for the BF sword. She knows her damage is going to be a little bit behind, and Doublelift is using that fully to CLG's advantage right now. Hot shot up in the front. Yeah, Dominate threw on his ultimate, and mitigates about 80% of the damage coming in, but it's not going to matter. They had a huge advantage, and now with the second consecutive Baron in the game, CLG is back into pushing mode, and they're going to take out Skarner as he gets caught out of position. They now need to focus Caitlyn. She will try to open up this inhibitor. What they're doing, they're not going to win off of that right there, but in the next few minutes before these inhibitors respawn, they will ride super minion waves in, and they are going to utilize that to help push down this Baron buff. Big Fat LP was down during the Baron, and they will not be able to have that on him. PewDiePie getting himself out safely.
Really good moves by PewDiePie there. So there was the call I was talking about last Baron, which was they're going for Baron, take some inhibitors. PewDiePie made the exact right move there. It's what we saw from Legion versus CLG. CLG's taking an advantage, go take one of your own, take down those inhibitors and make that happen. So we saw CLG try themselves in that game too as well. Just worked out in Legion's favor that one time. But Dignitas, they need to hold on for these 20 seconds. CLG has Baron buff. It's very, very scary to deal with. And they've got 20 seconds without their Gragas, without Skarner. This is where CLG wants to turn on the pressure and really get this turret, this inhibitor down. Double Lift Banshee's Veil is down. He's taking a little bit of damage from that turret, but he's still pretty durable. He has some lifesteal. CLG actually says no, they're going to stop right here. They're afraid of Skarner coming back up because they've got giant minion waves pushing at their bottom side. Now Dignitas right here, if I were on their team, I'd call, let's go top, let's poke it down. When you have two inhibitors gone, you cannot rely on minion waves alone to keep your base alive. You must send someone down there to make something happen and keep your base alive. If Dignitas puts their champion pressure at the top lane and the minion pressure at the bottom half for them, they have a very easy chance of poking down their, 9th turret of the match.
Freak, this late game completely going in CLG's favor. We can see they've tied up the gold, and in the last 5 minutes, 9,000 gold has been gained for CLG, while it's only been 5,000 for Dignitas. That early game lead that Dignitas held is now fizzling away. CLG is really becoming a force to be reckoned with here, as they were being pushed back into the base for the majority of the game. Now that Hotshot has got his tanky items, he can get into the fight for his team. He is really into that. Usually you see him going for that fast frozen heart. It's been all magic resistance on this one. That giant spell is going to keep him sustained even more, and they are just waiting to stop them on this turret. That Baron buff in, the Shurelius goes off. Hotshot actually pushed into the fight, but it does not let him rupture and begin the initiation. It's very back and forth. Skarner's down for about 60 seconds. Do they choose to initiate on this?
It's going to be so hard for CLG. They don't have something like a Malphite or an Alistar. Their only initiation is landing Rupture somehow or getting someone in range for the ultimate, the shockwave here from Orianna. That's very, very hard for CLG to do. That's not likely whatsoever. Dignitas going to keep the pressure on and keep the poke going. The CLG, oh my gosh, Orianna's so low on health. This is the chance that Dignitas wants. She's going to have to run back, possibly defend that Nexus. Dignitas still right now on a 5-on-4. This is their chance to dive in and deal some extra damage here. Let's see if they can do it in enough time. Orianna still up on that Nexus, trying to keep themselves alive. Patoy, Dominate, trying to dodge out these attacks. Of course, Dominate with that rank 3 Triumph for Or, going to keep his teammate sustained if possible. Let's see if they can push in on this one. They're just taking a bit of pain.
Minion wave coming in, super minions on both mid and bottom turrets. They are going to have to wait for those. Orianna is not in the fight. She's trying to guard the Nexus turrets right now. So this is a 5-on-4. This is exactly what Dignitas wants. This is why we saw PewDiePie going for that inhibitor. As I said, they're not going to win just from that right there, but they're going to be able to use that super minion wave to ride that in and just focus on this top turret. Like I said, they are directing CLG where they want the map control to go.
Yep, and Dignitas is constantly going for it. The minion advantage is going in CLG's favor. You can see CLG now winning in gold because Big Fat's been able to just farm there at that bottom lane for a long time. CLG, they only have one Shurelius, I believe, and that's only on Sona there, so initiation is difficult because Dignitas has one of their own, and of course, they have Janna and Gragas to stop those pushes in. But you've been seeing here, they've been doing good damage to this turret. It's down to only 600 health. This slow but steady push in from Dignitas is doing what it takes. They're slowly doing enough damage. There's the shield on PewDiePie once more, a 500 damage critical strike onto Cho'Gath. The Javelin comes out, just narrowly misses. Now this push didn't get any damage in the turret, but the next one just might. Orianna, again, still stuck in that middle and bottom lane, but she's just getting so farmed out of it. The longer this goes on, the more gold CLG gains. There's 14,000 gold individually on Big Fat LP's Orianna. That's going to be a scary champion to deal with.
So Freak, what's going through Dignitas' head right now? They've been here for quite some time. They're not making any progress. Is this to hold the inhibitors, wait for them, and the Baron to come back up?
No, I think they really need to do that last little bit of damage here. Rupture finally got used. That was a chance for PewDiePie to go in for a bit more damage. There's still, you know, he's got to have his, yeah, he has his cleanse available, and so it's not like Sona can crescendo and catch him out. PewDiePie can just do those last 5 basic attacks and pick that turret down. The inhibitors are actually respawning right now, which means that that full 5-minute timer has been burned out. And it's going to be no longer a 5-on-4 anymore. That last wave, when it drops down, is going to be pretty much safe. Double taking a lot of burst right there. Skara will hit the barrel as well. Double up very low. If they can engage and make this happen, it'll be nice. PewDiePie getting shockwave back. Must flash backwards. There's the equalizer being used. Shirelli is popped on at least the one side. Dignitas losing their Shirellis. They have a second one, though. They have one on Alistar and one on Janna. Finally doing some turret damage, and PewDiePie taking some flack for it. It's 2 hits to go. They just need to deal the damage. Finally, they pick that one up, and now they will go in for the inhibitor. All of them are available, but they have all respawned again. One bad fight's going to be really bad for Dignitas. There's a knockup. Dominate doing a lot. Boy up in front, taking some pain, but Trump getting crushed right now. PewDiePie going down as well. That's 3 kills for Doublelift, and they're going to chase down onto Skara and Patoy without losing anyone.
Well, Janna still has Zephyr, so she gets that extra movement speed for herself, and Gragas very mobile. They will not be able to catch Skara, but that is exactly what they needed. Doublelift on the outside, and you can see them straight down the middle. The wave clearing potential is going to be huge for these guys. Flame Spitter, Kog'Maw shots, and they are going to barrel down through this. 50-second spawns up on the Dignitas team for the Death Chambers right now. As they move down onto this turret, they will have to go through it. Not too much damage on it. They are going to be very slowed by this freak. It may only be one inhibitor for them.
And what we'll see is still got 25 seconds. They don't have any minions, of course. That makes this push very slow. They also made another great choice, which was, almost knocks Doublelift in. Teleport coming in from Big Fat's going to keep that one alive. Doublelift gets a shield as well. But that was a really nice choice by CLG. They kept 2 members back to make sure there was no counter pushes happening. Ultimate almost catches Scar right there. That would have been a sure kill if it had landed. But CLG still pressuring. It's still a 5-on-2 with Scar! Catches out. Boy, thank you very much. Picks that kill up. But Toy putting on the assist. They're still going in. Doublelift is 1 hit from dead. Scar's got 25 seconds on his own ultimate. He's going to be a little bit afraid here. A lot of crowd control from Toy. He's just going man mode on this one. They're not going to push in much harder, though. But suddenly, Dignitas has their own 5-on-4. They lost the inhibitor, but they can dive into the base. Amazing mental gameplay by Batoy right there. Usually a support, you're not going to walk next to the jungler in the AD carry for a good 20 yards, but he knew they are not going to waste anything on me with Skara following behind, and he just played that one so mentally sound, just calmly walked next to them and used Howling Gale efficiently, really just keeping them from backing, keeping them from getting back to this Baron, and giving Dignitas enough time to possibly grab the first of the 3 Barons of this matchup. Wow, and in Boy's introduction, we said he had the ability to single-handedly decide a match. Oftentimes it means that Void goes crush and goes 5-2-8 and gets a bunch of kills. But when that second death is badly timed and it gives you a 5-on-4 late game, it means Dignitas gets Baron and the momentum back once more. It's I think like the 4th or 5th lead change in this match so far. Dignitas 5 strong. Every inhibitor is laid open to them. Now, in my opinion, they shove up mid lane and crush on the super minions and then say, guys, we have a Baron buff, you don't have a turret. Easy inhibitor kills. If they can push down mid lane and take that inhibitor, they can just back for the other 2 because they're not worried. They're not worried about super minions on the other side. They need to make sure there's no counter push mid lane, which again is why they're going here right now. Skara and Dominate. But other than that, everything in CLG's base is available to them, and I think Dignitas over the next 3 minutes needs to take those inhibitors down. Now, Freak, CLG with Baron is quite dangerous, but we have to take into consideration what Dignitas can do with Baron and with their poke composition. They're going to be able to sit on the outside the entire time. We saw when CLG had it, they could take the comp, or they could take the poke rather. That regeneration from Baron on your HP really keeps you sustained. So right now, as they come in on this poke comp, we saw some of the fights happening for CLG when it was on the second turret in middle. As they're standing around, they were fighting at the start with half health. This may be the case again, but they're being pushed off by Hotshot here. They want to see what the initiation is. A very nice trap just kind of causes Hotshot to have to step back a few times. Nobody's really just yet on the initiation. 52 minutes into one of our longest matches of the weekend here, the North American Regionals at PAX. Nothing less should be expected from these games. The highest caliber coming to play for North America to vie for that spot in the Season 2 Championship $2 million tournament, the Season 3 Championship Series here. These teams are playing their hearts out in the do-or-die matches. Whoever does not win this match goes to the 3rd and 4th place matchup, but they want that spot in the Championship Series. CLG is hungry. Dignitas has Baron and wants to take them down.
This game for CLG will keep them in the match, Freak. Do they have what it takes as they enter Dignitas' base?
Well, they have what it takes. Crowd, I want to hear you let them know if they have what it takes. Does CLG have what it takes to win Game 2? Let me hear you.
Behind them, the Dignitas fans are ready for their team to win. However, the backing has been very strong. Cheers for Turrets, the Dragons. The fans are into this just as much as the players right now, and the adrenaline is so high and pumping. The turret will go down. They open up another inhibitor. It looks like the attacks will be strong. The poke from living artillery keeping Dignitas at bay. Their Baron is being pushed off right now. The poke comp not even mattering. Beautiful Banshee's Veils are going to thwart the Gragas ultimate. Great Howling Gale by Patoy to shut down that Banshee's Veil. They'll have it again in 30 seconds, but that's going to be a little bit slower of initiation for them. 17-11 at 54 minutes. The gold is only separated at 70,000 by 4,000 gold.
Yeah, and I'm so surprised here that CLG is actually the one able to aggress right now, but that is the power of that late game Kog'Maw. There's a Baron buff on Dignitas. They've got 5 members, but CLG is the aggressor here. This is them saying our late game is what it takes. Dignitas needed a good late game to fight with what CLG has, because you look at what they did here, and they brought it out to that timer. And Kog'Maw versus Caitlyn, Primal Surge might not be enough. You've got great initiation from Dignitas. You've got a lot of knockbacks, a lot of stuns overall. We'll see if they can get a kill out of nothing. But there's a very tanky Cho'Gath in the front. He's got a giant shield on him right now. It's very hard for Dignitas to break into that lineup of CLG.
Dignitas now on their heels with Baron, something very unexpected to see. It seems just like the Javelins not hurting anymore from Crumbs. Too much HP is now on the team of CLG. As well, Chowster is still making himself tankier. Almost a 3,000 HP Sona. The initiation goes in. Dignitas is on their heels. Most of the cooldowns have been used. Double is forced out of the fight, but can he get back in to do the damage? Dominate with his ultimate on is trying to bring them outside the base. Very smart play by him, keeping them at bay from attacking the inhibitors, but it will be far too long. They are just going to be able to take him down and now focus on what they want. Skarner will be the next to fall. CLG that much closer to game 3, but Boy goes down on the cutie pie with the double kill. The timers for respawn are very high right now, and there is nothing to chance for these, there's everything rather to chance for these teams if they go down.
Yeah, Dignitas spent everything there trying to focus on the carries. They tried everything to get double lift down. He got a triple kill before he fell, but you saw that fight was in such great shape for CLG, but suddenly there was a Caitlyn alive with no attack damage carry on the other side. Nothing to kill him. And Cutie Pie just started picking up kill after kill after kill, and these players are almost done with their builds. If you look down at what Kog'Maw has, he's got full items. There's nothing left for him to buy. He's 12-3. He is that carry for CLG right now. He's doing a great job of his game. Cutie Pie catching up very nearly, only 6-2, but he's also got that full item build. We're going to see what happened in that last fight. It went 3-2, but let's see exactly what went down.
All right, and as they enter into the base, it was a dance for quite some time. We saw that quick initiation from the ulti. We do see Dominate comes in here as he tries to push himself in. Gragas and him miss that as double lift flashes out. Amazing waste of the cooldowns there. We see Dominate trying to run around now. Save, as I said, save that inhibitor for his team. Kind of mix up where the damage is going. A good focus onto Hotshot, and this will allow Double Lift to pick up that kill onto Dominate. And this is where his double comes in as I'm a Cutie Pie starts to factor into the fight as well. Keeping himself on the outside, keeping that long range in his favor, and picking up a double kill on both sides for Dignitas and CLG.
All right, and a minute ago we were in this situation with CLG knocking at the front door, and I had you guys cheer if CLG had what it took. But guys, there's fans for both teams in this audience. If you think Dignitas has what it takes to close it out and 2-0 this in this late game, let me hear you for Team Dignitas.
Picking up the red buff, the team preparing for the next engagement. The blue buff on Orianna. The red buff not yet seen. Yes, it is. Double buff, double lift. We're going to see him coming down mid lane with his team right now. Looking to ride this siege minion wave in. A good clear from Gragas as the living artillery comes out. They want the poke in their favor. Any bit of damage they can do right now, they are going to love. Good stop there. You can just see how quickly the defense can be set up by Dignitas. Patoy's Howling Gale. Still, the Monsoon to be used and throw off the entire team. They have the ability with Gragas' explosive cast and Monsoon to continuously just push CLG out of an initiation. The very nice shield stops the javelin, and you can see they're not doing damage anymore to Hotshot.
No, he's just getting tankier and tankier. He's going to be even more difficult to deal with as this game goes on. He's finally got that Sunfire cape to give him that armor. We talked a while ago about how he was stacking only magic resist, but now he is rich enough. And the one thing is, Doublelift and PewDiePie both, they just start giving minions away to their teammates as their item builds are finalized. They need to make sure that the rest of that team can follow suit and be just as threatening. Nidalee's only got about 2 items left to go. Alistar there, I will dominate, only about 1 item left to go. Actually pops the Shirelli is trying to get his team around the map a little bit faster. To see as CLG starts up on Baron, Dignitas, they don't quite know about this just yet, but they're going to dive in towards the mid lane. CLG cannot take Baron with their base about to fall down. They're going to group in onto the side here. This could be very, very dangerous. Hotshot will not land the rupture. This could be a stopped fight.
Very good.
Very good to be a 5-on-5.
Skarner body slamming out of position there, making himself safe. And this has been an amazing defense for CLG. How often do you see a team knocking at the enemy door at all of their turrets are down, teleport on Rumble? They can just go ahead and go behind the enemy lines, or rather teleport on Nidalee, I should say. Both of these teams can teleport into position and get this down. Has not been utilized yet. The next Baron dance to come out. Dignitas went down mid, pulled the audible and came back around. 1,000 damage coming out of PewDiePie right now on those headshots. He's going to be the one to set up that wall of defense. Not even Hotshot can take that damage.
Big Fat LP trying to get in there, does break the Banshee's Veil. That means that PewDiePie is available for initiation. Will knock him, but only to the side. And there's the explosive cask. Everyone is low. They've been knocked backwards. Boyboy going to take some damage. Big Fat going to take even more. Dominate knocked up Crescendo. And the Equalizer going to lower them down quite a lot as well. Dignitas still in great shape. And Doublelift got caught out by himself, but he will be able to recall back to the base. But with that situation, it's a great initiation for Dignitas. They dealt so much damage that they will get another Baron here. I believe their 3rd of the game, just over an hour long in this game too, and it can still go either way.
Amazing. Both teams accruing 160,000 gold in this game. 83,000 gold to Dignitas, 81,000 gold to CLG. As we look across the board, we have a 19,000 gold to himself, Gragas, a 20,000 gold to himself, I'm a PewDiePie, and on the other team it's going to be 21,000 gold for Doublelift in the lead with the fattest pockets. He has definitely burning holes there, and we're going to see what he can do with all of that damage. As we said, he is going to be that late game carry for them. He needs to stay on the outside. The Banshee's Veil over the Guardian Angels would be questionable there, as his damage is very much needed in these fights.
Yeah, and we'll see how that ends up panning out here. I like the Banshees though more than I like the earlier Guardian Angel, because right now it's about catching someone up. The ability to just crush someone in a 5-on-4 is so massive that if you pick one guy off, you pull him just in, it's an easy kill for you. So instead, they're going to try to stop the initiation wholesale by going for things like Banshee's Veil. You see it on Big Fat LP as well. He's actually finalized on items. You just, again, just look through these item builds and almost everyone is full up. Poor Hotshot having to leave an item slot open for wards here, and you're going to see, I think Charles will do the same thing as well. So you're going to see like late game Sonas in here, which is a very rare sight. You're seeing an Aura stack here, Shirelia's, Lock of the Iron Solari, Zeke's Herald, maximum protection across the board for a lot of these guys. And Dignitas though, they've got the Baron buff. This time they're looking like they want to be a bit aggressive here.
Very strong. Scar taking a bit of damage there. Big Fat coping as much damage as he can. Dignitas knocking on the front door. One final push could bring them to victory. A 20-13. Dignitas is 7 kills behind in this match, but 2,000 up in gold, and by 1 turret as well. 62 minutes in, CLG now put back into their base. Both teams' bases are in absolute shambles. If one team goes down, it will definitely mean the end of the game.
Yeah, and Dignitas right now is looking like they want to end it in their favor. They are 5 strong this mid lane. That ball from Orianna, a very precarious location right there. Knocking up on the crumbs. They're not going to quite move in on that just yet. Caitlyn, a lot of free poke there off the knockup from Janna, putting in a bit of pain there. It's going to take some time for Sona to regain that health onto her teammate. Again, the poke coming out from the Lich Bane. A lot of damage being dealt. There's initiation. A lot of flow coming out there. Everyone's going to back on out. Equalizer goes out, but again, disengage so strong from Dignitas, they are not getting caught out. Hotshot taking more damage, more javelins, more knockouts. He's got the shield. He's going to dive in. Alistar a bit caught out, but the knockback coming in from Skarner. Explosive cast push everyone back. The crescendo goes off. Dominate in front. He's going to pop his ultimate and jump in, trying to push back Boy, trying to get ready to stun up the players. And there is the inhibitor going down. Crumb's making the half sync with the Lich Bane. Suddenly, though, bad situation. Dominate up in front, gonna lock up the champion as best they can. They've knocked back Big Fat. He's gonna get pushed around. Dominate does fall down as the first casualty, but Big Fat and Hotshot are so low that actually CLG must back off despite getting the first kill. Promote used to try to make the minions fight for them a little bit, but it's a 5-on-4. Dignitas with 2 inhibitors are gonna say, you're right, it's 5-on-4, we'll back off.
Going for the slowly but surely, Freak. Nothing to chance here. They know what this means, and they know they want to take this carefully with CLG. If they were to make one wrong step, CLG is a team that will capitalize. We are into the most late game you could ever be. In fact, we may even coin a new term soon, because this is probably one of the longest games we have seen in professional League of Legends play.
Oh, absolutely. And you see Crumbs taking on the Dragon as though it matters very much. I actually glanced up at the timers and was like, Baron comes up at like 1 hour and 10 minutes. Dragon comes up at like 45. And I'm like, that was 20 minutes ago. They really don't care anymore. And you know, 190 gold for everyone when 3 of them are done buying items. I mean, I guess they could buy his 5th Oracle's Elixir and just kind of shine some more. But realistically, everyone is super rich in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they started letting Dominate and Fatoy farm minion waves out here. I actually want to see a death cap Janna, to be honest. I think that'd be great. But overall, these guys just... Cheers for AP Janna. Thank you. I like that. Guys back. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Thank you, guys. Cheers for AP Janna.
All right, guys, let's quickly get a recap as the teams are just rolling around of that inhibitor take. As we just saw happen, the team was really just poking it out. Big ups to Crumbs here. As he flashes out, they start to mill about. They push him out, and he keeps continuing to focus on the inhibitor for his team. Going through that crescendo, they still keep their focus on. Knowing the damage is onto Alistar, he has his ulti on. He's more than happy to take a few shots. That's exactly what it was built for. They're able to take that out, and it's just great mechanics that they didn't get flustered. They paid attention to the objective, and they got out when they needed to.
And Cutie Pie actually almost got... Oh my gosh. Oh, trapped down. Oh dear, that was scary.
You know, Freak,
somehow that
becomes really interesting. In a normal game, you'll see they have the AD carry, makes 15 to 16,000 gold. They complete their builds, and they were well off in the game. Right now, that's how much gold the supports have.
Supports with 50,000 gold builds. Pretty nice overall. I like that. I like that. And again, the harass coming out, using that ace in the hole to deal damage right up front. We've seen a lot of Karthus players do that as well, putting the cooldown on early to get some early harass down and hoping it's up again later when fights actually start, not wanting to waste any of the damage output in case people die early on. PewDiePie doing that same kind of thing, using that ultimate to deal some early poke. Crumbs distracting him at the top lane. He has super minions to his advantage, and actually this is a much better way of doing it. He's going to escape away from the initiation there. He's liking that one a lot.
Again, pushing in. One of the final inhibitors to go. Dignitas has gone around the horn. Can they finalize this one? Cho'Gath acting as a giant wall for his team. Hotshot GG will stand in the front and salute the entire team of Dignitas as they walk in. But here we go, the poke count could push him back. He is trying to keep these minions off. They're trying to clear these waves. All of the traps are going down from Caitlyn on the left side, which allows them to continue to push to that front line. It's like their line of scrimmage right now. Nobody can walk past it. If they get locked up that soon, it's going to be very bad. One Nexus turret has already fallen. Not looking good for CLG. That last Nexus turret will regenerate health, but it is going to be the only thing standing between them and the Nexus.
Here we go. Dignitas looking for the end game push. Liv, take it away. Is this going to be a 2-0 for Dignitas?
Double Liv taking a lot of damage on that Gragas barrel, but he gets the heal out. They are able to throw it. Crumb's taking a lot of damage. He goes down. Double Liv focusing on. Will they be able to take him out? The crescendo completely missing, however. Skarner down to 500 HP, pushed completely out of the fight. And CLG holds onto their base and their last Nexus turret as it has about 300 health left.
Wow, they've brought that down to 1/4 health, but they got the damage on the targets they needed. Dignitas running back, their tails between their legs. Baron's back up. The gold on it doesn't even matter, nor the experience. It's all, do you want 40 attack damage and AP from the Baron buff? I think the teams do, but the problem for CLG is they have 0 remaining inhibitors. Now, normally when you kill an inhibitor, super minions spawn in that lane for 5 minutes, and it's a scary situation. when you kill all 3 inhibitors. Not only does every lane spawn super minions, every lane spawns 2 super minions. There is no way CLG could leave their base right now. So Dignitas, despite losing a member of their team, despite fighting against a fully farmed Kog'Maw, they know CLG is stuck in there. They will get this Baron. They could wait the 14 seconds for Crumbs to respawn. Now they won't. Crumbs will be left out of the happy purple glow right there. But ultimately, he's going to be still 4 strong with the Baron buff. Some superfluous golden experience gained overall. Dignitas really reaching full items. Haunting guys picked up late here for Crumbs. And we're going to see a replay of that last fight.
Check that out as super minions start to flood the base. We'll see them coming in. We see Doublelift coming out on that right side. Crumbs is going to go Cougar form in just a second as they focus down, flashing out and wasting a few of those summoner spells, and Doublelift comes out strong. Crumbs using that leap to get away, but he just could not do it. Back to live, they are pressuring the front of this base. 3 huge minion waves from each side coming the front door. Crumbs is not with his team yet, trying to get those cooldowns. Don't know if it's completely necessary, but they really need to get back into this fight. He does have that teleport, so they aren't worried if he's too far away. CLG to guard this top inhibitor. Their middle has come up, the bottom going down recently, so they do have a little time for the siege minions to still come down, or the super minions, I should say, on that bottom lane. CLG now with their focus on only siege waves, top and mid. We're going to have to see if they can continue to push those out. They can't do anything until they have that at least separated to mid on each minion wave.
Yeah, and right now, the minions still knocking at the door. Dignitas wanting to keep the pressure on, using the minions to their advantage. That's going to be the last super minion there for the top lane as the inhibitor has respawned. They're not going to ride that one in too much. Actually, no, Caitlyn is up there with Gragas. The super minions still actually distracting Hotshot. They're going to go for some damage. Not going to be too much just yet. A lot of damage dealt to Crumbs, but it's an AP Nidalee. Those heals are gigantic, and so are those javelins. Look at the damage being dealt. Chaucer at half health, but Sona is the Maiden of Sustain. We'll keep her health back up. Chaucer should be okay there. The middle inhibitor very low as well. Inhibitors do also regenerate health, just like Nexus turrets do. But it's still a very scary situation. Dignitas poking in on these structures so very well. They're leaving Crumbs alone every time. Patoy taking a lot of harassment here. Pops off that shield. Will survive for now, but still low on health.
Pushing in, being very careful there. Patoy getting himself back into this one. Trying to throw out a Howling Gale and just stop them from rotating over here. This is all about counter logic gaming, being able to distribute themselves properly. A good waste on the Big Fat Banshee fail. He moves that ball around. He's just trying to quickly and continuously clear these waves. They do not want anything else to give Dignitas an upper hand on this push. Everybody is so incredibly tanky right now. We have a 3,000 health Janna. Over to Sona, we have a 2,800 health Sona. The supports are even able to get themselves into these fights to do the damage. Everybody is ready for an all-out fight, but it's really the dance until they find it. The inhibitor goes down. That will be all 3 down once again. The Nexus turret almost down. The Nexus turret with 190 health. Dignitas just needs to get a few pokes. Great damage from Dissonance on Big Fat LP. The last few minion waves to push in. It is only blue inside CLG's base. They have what it needs and what it takes to take this down. If they can continue to pressure, the Javelin's not doing too much damage, but they are giving CLG something else to dodge and something else to think about. Great damage actually going on to Big Fat as it takes about 600 HP off. The longer those Javelins go, the more damage he's going to do, and he's completely utilizing that to its greatest effect. The turret regaining health now. They are all pretty much acting as a giant shield for that Nexus turret. It has now regained 300 HP. This game may never end if they can continue to defend like this. The bottom inhibitor finally goes up. CLG feels confident for the push. They go out and the Howling Gale will disengage.
Wow, they've pushed Dignitas out of their base against 3 dead inhibitors and a Baron buff. Talk about a strong late-game team with all the cards stacked against them. They've still remained strong here, pushing Dignitas out. The amount of damage available to Doublelift is massive. Got Flash and Ghost down on him, so now Kog'Maw a little bit less safe here, but it's still a scary situation. Rupture comes down from Hotshot, will not dominate in the air. A little bit of poke coming down to that Cho'Gath. He's losing some health right now. Sona's still there. They're trying to poke the inhibitor down. Again, PewDiePie taking some damage. Skarner will dodge away from the Rupture, and look at the damage out from this Kog'Maw. And there is a shotgun that kept them to dominate, but that is not the target you want to go for. Alistar is the tankiest. The inhibitor goes down again. Once more, 3 inhibitors are down. Dignitas is going to look for some pressure as they push down these minion waves.
Freak in another 10 seconds. 6 super minions now will enter the base. That is going to be a huge force for CLG to deal with, as well as the entire team from Dignitas. Will they find the last turret? The focus from Janna. Patoy trying to get attacks down from the support. These guys are completely focused on destroying the defenses of CLG, knocking down that front door and trying to burn down the base. CLG doing everything they can to put out the fire right now, but it just seems like Dignitas is creating too hot of a situation. The last one goes down. The inhibitor is ready to take that beating, and Dignitas is going to play this one out until they get the rest of those super minions in. 3 waves now to approach the base. They are going to ride this wave completely to the end of the game, possibly. Dignitas to take game 2 in a few seconds.
Yeah, a good amount of poking from Big Fat, getting Cutie Pie a bit low on Caitlyn, but AP Nidalee means heals, and very big heals at that. Dignitas are at full health. The Baron buff, it looks like it's timed out by now, but they've still got minions in their favor. 100,000 gold on Team Dignitas. I didn't even know we had 4 digits there for it, and they're still pushing in there. Boy leading the charge up in the mid lane, trying to push these minions down. Because everyone has so much damage and ability power in mana, they're able to keep these minion waves down just by themselves. The poke comes out again from Cutie Pie and from Skara, but it leaves no lasting benefit here. Counterlogic Gaming still durable. And look at that hot shot, pushing them back out with Rupture. CLG are refusing to lose this game.
CLG doing everything they can. We see Chowster using the promote just to shut down top lane, but the super minions crushed right through that minion. It is not going to be of that much use. Dignitas backing up, just so many items under their belt. They need to get some more damage, but it's just not possible. The damage just needs to be done correctly. They have to focus out the right person, and both teams are playing perfectly in their position. Nobody's getting caught out. They're really not even getting a chance to poke at anybody. It's all the minions, and CLG is doing a perfect job of defending this entire matchup. They're not allowing Dignitas to get in any way. Dignitas has all of their inhibitors up. They are still pushing super minions into the base of CLG, but CLG is countering this perfectly. I don't understand how they are still in this matchup, but they really have what it takes to keep this going, and if Dignitas doesn't do something soon, it may very well turn the tide and go in CLG's favor.
Yeah, but mostly by, I think, sheer force of will. They are keeping their base alive. Dignitas waiting around for this Baron to respawn. Mistimed just slightly with that barrel, Skara, but they're waiting around. They want to pick this one up for themselves. But there it is, back up. Dignitas is going to go for like their 5th Baron now, I think. Just constantly taking Barons down. You're going to see that gold, that buff going to come up here this time. Crumbles will get it if he's alive this time around. And though they're down 13 to 22 in kills, they are up 1,000 gold. Both teams at 103,000, but still, it's a 1,000 gold lead. That's not too bad. Dignitas, you got 1,000 gold on them.
See if they push in this last Baron attempt. They do have I Will Dominate off in the distance. His ultimate is going to be a huge factor in this fight. The max amount of damage is being dealt by every one of these champions. Their builds could not be more perfect. They're readying themselves. They have synergized their builds. The supports are going for auras. The attack here from Hotshot is trying to thwart it off. His Banshee's Veil is now down. We're going to have to see, or rather the shield that was on him is now down. We'll have to see what they can do. He does have that Randuin's, more aura to the team, the opposing team that is, as they try to shut down the fight. They throw the shield on, but it's not going to be enough. Even with Baron, Dignitas not being able to enter the base, but the super minions formidable enough to take down that inhibitor. Wards going down in the base so they can keep any type of vision. Super minions everywhere. There's at least 8 in the base right now. CLG is forced on this one. They are getting completely flooded. If any attacks can go down to the Nexus, it is going to be huge. The Nexus only losing 10% health at this point. A double lift forced out of the fight. The shots could be going down. Hotshot getting caught too far out, and he's down to about 25% HP. This could be the final push. Dignitas takes game 2 and puts themselves into the Season 3 Championship Series. Puts themselves in the Season 2 $2 million spot and in the North American Regional Finals.
Wow, what an amazing, amazing game. Over 76 minutes long, an hour and a quarter. CLG have to recollect themselves though and realize they need to make it to the 3rd place match against Curse. They didn't make that happen. One of those 2 teams between Curse and CLG are not making it through. Dignitas, you see the elation and relief on I Will Dominate's face. They've made it through. Dignitas, one of the top 2 teams in North America, definitively, they are ready to fight up against Team Solo Mid. Let's check that out, guys. 2-0 for Team Dignitas. Excellent job by them.
And absolutely amazing. I have to say, everyone, thanks for joining us for what might possibly have been the longest League of Legends match in professional history. 76 minutes into that game, and everything that was going into the key factors, everything we said was all about the late game. And I think we went even past that.
Yeah, it went past late game to end game. 2 supports actually had gold. It was a little bit weird to see that kind of happen there. But they stacked it up. MVP for that game. I mean, everyone, I don't want to cheapen how well Dignitas played because they played phenomenally, but MVP is kind of the minions at that point.
Yeah,
just the flood
seriously.
At the end there, just crushing them from all sides. It was amazing.
Let's check out that replay, guys. We'll just see what minions can do for your team. We just see an entire sea of minions coming into this base. Right now, they have control, but when that next wave moves in from top, we'll see Hotshot GG get pinched down to the bottom. Double It starts getting poked down here by Caitlyn on the bottom side of your screen, and we see Alistar coming in as well. I'm a Cutie Pie doing great damage there, and this is where Hotshot gets caught off. He almost can't even move within those minions. He was trying to path himself in and out, gets bursted back around the corner, and once that crescendo goes out, Dignitas didn't even have to worry about it. They knew they had the focus they needed, and the minions did all the work for them.
Yeah, that was just an amazing overall gameplay by both of these teams. Dignitas going for an early mid-game push with a poke composition, taking down turrets hard and fast, and taking these long-range engagements and disengaging if CLG came in. Well, they got a lot of early pressure there. They did take those first 6 turrets down. They did get a lot of that early pressure, but CLG held on. They held on, they took a Baron, they got some turret kills back for themselves, they took some inhibitor kills down for themselves.
Yep.
You saw an example where Dignitas had Baron buff and were stuck in their own base against CLG because of how powerful that late game composition was. But it was fight awareness and map awareness and overall strategy and tactical play by Team Dignitas that said, you know, maybe in the perfect world your 5-on-5 is better than ours, but we know how to poke down your turrets and inhibitors and get into these cool situations. Cutie Pie had that move where CLG went for Baron, and Cutie Pie took down 2 inhibitors. That allowed them to siege up at the top lane, get that turret extremely low. I think they even took it down before that fight ended and retreated back and said, all of your inhibitors are available. We can take them whenever we want. Now, they never quite backdoored them again, but they set up these sieges, and by picking up an individual kill here, picking up a Baron there, and just getting that positioning and getting that poke in, they started taking those structures down.
Yeah, Freak, it was a great job by Dignitas to not let that game get in their head. We saw yesterday's game between CLG and Legion where they figured out what CLG was doing, but CLG was still able to push that into a 50-60 minute game because they don't make mistakes at that late game point. And we saw that Dignitas finally figured out that it was going to be all the inhibitors, the minions that they required. 6 items across the map except for the spots for wards and the support wards. And as I was saying before, usually that average AD carry in a game, 15, 16, 17,000 gold, that's what the supports were carrying. An all-out, absolutely perfect play by Dignitas, and I have to give them credit for not getting inside their own heads when they couldn't continuously push on.
Yeah, they played the most amazing match here of this tournament. 76 minutes long again. Great effort by both these players and both these teams and all 10 players, but CLG are not out. They've got a 3rd place decider tomorrow against Curse, and of course we also have that grand final between Team Solo Mid and Team Dignitas, but we'll be right back with these matchups and an interview right after.